What about mixing a drum kit that was recorded with only one microphone? Hey, what's going on, my friend? Chris Lim here from Mixdown Online. Now, before we jump in, the usual, subscribe, click that notification bell, and also share and like. That actually helps me a lot. Okay, now to today's topic. A couple of weeks ago, I reviewed the BB29 microphone. This one right here. And what I did for the video is to record one quick song by using only the BB29 microphone, so only one mic. That was actually pretty common when recording vocals, a guitar amp, or an acoustic guitar, but when it came to recording my drums, that was quite different because I am used to use several microphones to record a drum kit. But now I was limited to only one mic. So I'm going to show you what I did to this drum recording to make it sound pretty good. Let's jump in CUBASE and check this out. Now let's listen to the raw drum recording. And now the final result. Okay, let me show you what I did. First of all, something very important that I need to share with you when you're recording drums with a limited amount of mics, like in this case, only one microphone. First of all, the drums need to be in tune. You need a good sounded drum kit to start with. If your drums are out of tune or they don't sound very good, this is not going to help. Then the drummer needs to mix himself. I was the drummer in this case, so I had to pay attention to the way I hit the drums. And this is what I did. I was actually smoother on the cymbals opposed to the kick, snare, and toms. Okay, so this is something that you need to pay attention when you're recording drums with a limited amount of microphones. And when you're recording drums with only one microphone, you need to pay attention to this because you need like a full balance right off the bat when recording because you only have one mic. So everything needs to be balanced. And the thing with acoustic drums, there's a lot going on. We have cymbals, toms, a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, so the drummer needs to balance this out. Okay, so this is something super important. Next is the mic position, the way you position the mic. Now, there's not only one way to position the microphone when recording a live drum when you're using only one mic. In my case, what I did and what seemed to be the best position according to my room and the way I'm playing in my drum kit was to just place it on top, just beside the tom, okay, on top of the kick, aiming the snare drum. So this way I was able to capture the cymbal, the ride, a bit of the tom, floor, and snare and kick in a very balanced way. So that was my sweet spot. But I had to experiment with different positions before ending up on this one, and that was my sweet spot. So it's very important to take the time to find the sweet spot, the perfect mic position when recording drums with only one microphone. So if we look at what I have as far as plugin goes, I don't have a lot of stuff going on. I have a frequency, which is my EQ. What I did here was simply to use dynamic EQ, just to have a bit more control over the high mids and a bit of the high frequencies. There was a bit of harshness going on that I wanted to tame down, and actually that worked very well. Then what I did was only to add a Pultec EQ to boost and cut at the same time at 100 Hertz and a bit of boost to the high end starting at 8K. And then on top I have a small cut at 500 Hertz. It sounded just a bit boxy. And this is what I ended up with. If I just, let me bypass everything else and just listen to the EQ. Okay, so, it's a good start. A bit more darker, way more fat. I like it. Then, instead of using a compressor on the track itself as an insert, I use parallel compression. And for this one, I use the DBX 160 that I like a lot when I do parallel processing on drums. And this is what it sounds like. Not too much. I want to keep the sound natural, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to go with parallel compression. I love the sound of compression on these drums, but I don't want these drums to sound too compressed. So I think that is the right amount. Next, I added some room effects. Now the recording is mono. What I want to add here is a bit more space around that mono recording. To start with, I'm using the Ocean Way Studio plugin from UAD, which is going to give me a studio type room sound. Very nice. I love the space that it adds on this drum recording. Then I have Reverence, and that is an echo plate that I'm actually using on the full band, just a tiny bit of that echo plate. That actually sounds pretty nice. So let's check what this is going to add to the drum sound. Okay, cool. I'm not adding a lot. If you look, I only have like a minimum of signal sent to this effects channel track. Now the big room. This is made out of a stereo delay, some reverb, and also a bit of compression at the end of the chain. I actually made a video on this particular chain to get this very cool room effect that you can watch. I'm going to leave the link on top and down below. So let's have a listen. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're getting something a bit more wide. We have some very nice space around the drums now, and the drums, they don't sound as mono anymore. So let's bypass all of those effects and compare with a before and after. Pretty cool. Okay, so this is basically what I did. I didn't do much, and that is the cool thing about this. The recording was pretty good to start with, and that helps a lot. The only thing that I did was a bit of EQ, a bit of parallel compression, and the rest is space around the drums. And that's it. And for this song, that works very well. For another type of song, I would treat that maybe differently. Maybe I would add a compressor straight on the channel itself as an insert, because there's not only one way to mix drums in general, and especially not only one way to mix a drum recording that was recorded with only one microphone. This is the way that actually worked for this mix. Okay, now let's have a listen in the context of the mix.
Ma tête a mal, ça tourne, tourne, tourne encore. Mes fautes m'accablent, la fête se fait la malle, ça tourne, retourne à la case départ. Mes doigts est mental et ma tête a mal, ça tourne, tourne, tourne encore. Mes fautes m'accablent, la fête se fait la malle, ça tourne, retourne à la case départ. Respire, l'air, la candeur et le bonheur.
Okay, that sounds pretty good actually, Now, something that I noticed that I want you to listen to is the tom. If you listen to the tom and floor, actually this is something that I should have you listen to before, but let's have a quick listen to how they sound. Pretty cool. Actually, the tom, the rack tom sounds a bit louder. So what I'm going to do in this case is just to automate the volume fader, and that's it. Just to bring that one down a bit. It doesn't pop out too much out of the mix. Okay, so let me just bring that one quieter. Cool. In the context of the mix. Pretty cool. So there you go. This is how I mixed a drum recording that was recorded with only one microphone. Now I have these multi-tracks available for free for you to download. The link is down below. So this is how I managed to mix a live drum recording. that was recorded with only one microphone. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave everything down below. Don't forget to share, to like, and to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care and see you.